Last of Us right now is kind of tearing it up. It has been a highly anticipated show, mostly for me because that Mason was coming in from Chernobyl to run the show, and Chernobyl's probably the best miniseries I've seen in over a decade. So really excited about what he would do with such a great base story with The Last of Us. Well, it has been a ratings darling. It had set a bunch of HBO records for its debut. Then it set another HBO record for the biggest gain in viewership between episode 1 and episode 2 of a show with a 22% jump. And now, according to the reports here, that gain has only continued, as according to Variety, The Last of Us viewership has gone up from episode 2 to 3 another 12%, which means that whereas the first episode of The Last of Us started with 4.7 million, the latest episode in its first 24 hours ended up with 6.4, another 12% increase, adding nearly a third of the viewers from the people who watched the original thing. This is a symptom of positive word of mouth. This is a symptom of people watching it, loving it, talking about it, and that motivating other people to go, I guess I better get on board with this thing. Because that has been the word. And I guarantee you this, after episode 3, I will guarantee another viewership increase going into episode 4. I don't know if it'll be 12%. I don't know if it'll be 20%. I don't know if it'll be 8%, but you are going to see another significant bump because episode 3 was one of the single greatest episodes of television I've seen in a long time. And again, I know it's beating a dead Netflix horse, but this once again speaks to the fact that dropping all your episodes at once, while it is fun for us bingers, I absolutely agree with that. The reality, the week-to-week episodic releases works for your show infinitely. There's not even a debate anymore. There's no valid argument you can make about how it's better for the show. It may be better for me as a binger, you as a binger, but it is not better for the show to not do week-to-week releases, and we're seeing that happen. And I think, by the time we get to the final episode, we could be watching this thing pulling in 10 million, 11 million per episode. And don't forget, these are only numbers in the first 24 hours. Like the actual numbers of the people who watched the original episode is in the double digits now. Anyway, Rob, you hear about this. Surprised to see this steep growth still happening? Not surprised? And what do you attribute it to?
No, I mean, look, I think like we've said from the beginning, this is a very high quality. Here's the thing. Whether you love the show or are tired of it or not, The Walking Dead has been a phenomenon as far as AMC is concerned. You had multiple spinoffs. People are clearly digging the post-apocalyptic milieu coming on the heels of COVID and war in the Ukraine and economic uncertainty and all this craziness. The collapse of civilization is in the zeitgeist, however you present it. And when you see it done HBO style, brilliantly written, brilliantly acted, brilliantly produced, people are going to be there for it. The Walking Dead became boring. Now you're watching a show that is dealing with societal collapse with love and emotion, whether it's between Joel and Ellie or whether it's between Bill and Frank. It's people. This is an emotional show that's dealing with emotional bonds, and you have clickers. I think that this is exactly the kind of show. Look, you can make people watch anything if it's well done, and like the game, this is extraordinarily well done, and the writing and the acting and the visual effects, the production values, the HBO of it all. I mean, I think the show's only going to grow in stature the same way. People are starved for smart, emotionally engaging entertainment.
I agree. Yeah.
That's what people want. It doesn't matter what genre it is. And, whether it's superhero movies, whether it's comedies, whether it's dramas, whether it's romance. I mean, I'm looking forward to the new season of You. That looks to be interesting too. I mean, that's what people have always wanted. And The Last of Us, what's great is The Last of Us is also exactly why we have such IP-based entertainment now. People want IPs that are proven in one medium. The problem is translating them to another. But when you have a Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann, the creator of the original IP you want to translate, well, that's a winning combination. Proof's in the pudding.
Aaron, you're seeing these number increases again, 22% from week 1 to week 2, another 12% from week 2 to week 3. We've grown about a third of the original audience. What do you attribute this to?
It's exactly like you said. The word of mouth is spreading almost like a contagious pathogen that infects ants and can destroy their species. Just as it is spreading through this community, the word of mouth is spreading to the viewers. And Tom and I love watching the show with Tom, my husband, because he played the video game and he loved the video game. And for him, he was really excited to find out how Bill and Frank are going to show up in this show. And, we've talked so many times on our show about how the video games don't always translate to the movies, but a lot of that really does not depend on the IP, and it doesn't depend on the movie. It depends on the one very essential ingredient right in the middle, and that's the translator. The translator is the one who is responsible for how the story is picked up from the video game and told to an audience who may or may not be familiar with that video game. So for me, someone who's never played Last of Us, I don't know how Bill or Frank showed up in the video game. All I know is that I'm watching a beautiful story that is heart-wrenching and emotional. And also, I see Nick Offerman's character and I go, I know guys like that in Michigan. Like, I know those guys, those survivalists when he first comes out. And then to take the story, flip it on its head, give you something you weren't expecting, so that the guy, Tom, sitting next to me goes, wow, I never saw that in the video game, but what an incredible interpretation of who these characters could be in a real world scenario. And so for Craig Mazin as the translator here, I think that we're really seeing what the essential ingredient is. And for anyone who has the IP of a video game and wants to translate it into a movie or a TV series, you got to find yourself a Craig Mazin, and that's how you're going to get, a winning product. You know
what else I have to say? And this is just a little thing, and I didn't say this on our after show. We now know that you have to pair rabbit with Beaujolais. But the thing is, the brand of Beaujolais that they used in the show is a real brand.
Oh, yeah, I love it. It's very good.
It's a great brand
as soon as I saw the bottle of wine, I was like, I drink that.
And what I was wondering, because, you can't just put a product in a show. And I'm sure that line isn't in the video game, is it? Like somebody,
you never actually meet Frank. You see Frank in the video game.
Yeah,
you never
there's
meet
never
Frank
a time when they ever say pair.
No, because in the video game they went in different routes. It's like a different universe where something else
But I was wondering,
happens.
was that a Last of Us thing I missed? Because the thing about it is, somebody, maybe it was Craig Mazin, took the time when they wrote that to get that brand of Beaujolais. Their Pouilly Foussé is really good too, and I was like, okay, they didn't have to do that. They could have had some empty.
It's that attention to detail, and so. You talk about the translators. Matt Weiner, the creator of Mad Men, he had that attention to detail.
It's called, as you know, Greeked. We have to Greek something. If you have a label,
I don't know that term.
Oh, in the art department, if you have a label that you Greek it so it looks like Greek writing or something.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. So like when
they could have easily Greeked that wine label.
They could have created anything in 2 seconds, but to have the specificity is great.
All right, guys, question is for you. The Last of Us just continues to keep gaining more and more viewership. It's the best thing on TV right now, even better than my beloved Yellowstone. Whatever you guys think about this, what do you attribute it to? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. We want to thank a sponsor of this video, MasterClass. MasterClass offers classes on a wide variety of topics, all taught by world-class instructors at the very top of their fields. Each class is broken out into individual video lessons, usually around 10 minutes long. And MasterClass is completely accessible on your phone, the web, smart TV, and available via audio mode to listen to classes on the go. They have over 2,500 video lessons from over 180 of today's most brilliant minds. They're all available anytime, anywhere on iOS, Android, desktop, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. Now, obviously around here on the John Campea Show, we love our movies, so why not learn filmmaking from Jodie Foster, or maybe directing from Ron Howard himself, or the great Neil Gaiman doing his masterclass on the art of storytelling. And you guys have heard me talk about my favorite masterclass, Business Strategy and Leadership by Big Papa Iger himself, Bob Iger, the new and returning CEO of Disney. So guys, I highly recommend that you check it out. Get unlimited access to every class, and as a John Campea Show listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. Just go to masterclass.com/Campea now. That's masterclass.com/Campea for 15% off Masterclass.